Hey Quad Bros, welcome back to the channel, guys. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be going over what I think are 6 soldiers that should absolutely be added to Enlisted in future battle passes. Now, if you guys didn't know, Enlisted has a couple soldiers that are added in each battle pass that come as perfectly rolled, great soldiers with customized names, and I think these future soldiers here in this list would be great additions to the game. Now, these are only going to be allied soldiers. We'll do Axis soldiers in a future video, at least if you guys enjoyed this one. So make sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe for when that releases, and let me know what you guys think would be good additions for that video. Now, I'm also going to mention, guys, these are not in any order at all in any way, shape, or form. These are just 6 that I decided to come up with and put them in kind of a vaguely random order. I'm not saying that any one deserves more than another one. More so, just these are the ones that kind of fell the way it did in terms of the video. Without anything else, guys, let's jump into it with our first soldier. Our first soldier is none other than Desmond Doss. Now, for those of you who may not know who Doss is, he is perhaps one of the most famous soldiers of World War II. Now, Doss was a medic who, due to his upbringing as a pacifist, refused to carry a weapon into battle. Doss has some of the most absurd achievements, most of which sound pretty far-fetched, and you'd probably think they were just outright fiction if you didn't know any better. And that says a lot, given the list that he's on in this video. A lot of people probably know Doss best from the film Hacksaw Ridge, which depicts his actions there, but a lot of people don't know that by that point in the war, Doss had actually already earned 2 Bronze Stars for his previous actions in both Guam and the Philippines. Then, his actions at Hacksaw, where he saved over 50 wounded soldiers, earned him a Medal of Honor. Doss's record and legacy makes him probably one of the easiest additions to Enlisted that you could think of, but the problem comes from, of course, his dedication to pacifism. Enlisted doesn't have the ability to restrict weapons, and in my opinion, it's a pretty big disservice to Doss's legacy and memory to include him in a game that allows him to fire weapons, which obviously goes against his moral code. Nevertheless, I can't really make a video about soldiers that deserve to be added to Enlisted and to be honored properly without at least mentioning Doss and his legacy in some way. So maybe in the future, the Enlisted devs will go above and beyond and include Doss in a way that allows his actions and his memory to be honored in the right way. And another one that you've probably heard about, Mad Jack Churchill. Now, Jack Churchill is another wild story from World War II, just like the rest of this list, namely because he's quite famously went into battle carrying a longsword, or a Scottish longsword, might have been even a claymore, I'm not 100%, bow and arrow, and, of course, bagpipes. Jack was a British commando and fought through a frankly astonishing amount of fronts during World War II until he was captured in Yugoslavia. Now, in Enlisted, it's pretty clear Jack should be a guerrilla soldier and would ideally come with his iconic sword. The bow and arrow are a little bit harder to pull off, and the bagpipes as well, but maybe they could come up with something. Overall, I think just adding his sword along with the soldier and the name Mad Jack would be more than enough to properly represent our friend Mad Jack Churchill in game. Next up, we have Lyle Bouck. I'm hopefully pronouncing that correctly. Lyle was one of the youngest commissioned officers in the U.S. Army, and he was assigned to the 99th Infantry Division in a reconnaissance platoon. Now, despite not being trained for direct confrontation, the platoon was assigned to defend a key road during the Battle of the Bulge, and Lyle led just 22 American men against an entire German battalion of over 500. Lyle and his men held out for more than 10 hours until they were finally flanked by German paratroopers and captured. However, the defense massively delayed the entire 6th Panzer Army's attack during the Battle of the Bulge and really impacted the outcome of the battle itself. Now, in Enlisted, Lyle would certainly be a radio operator given his role in a recon and intelligence platoon, and he would make a fantastic addition to the game. Now let's move on to some heroes from the Eastern Front, or perhaps I should say heroines. The first, and please guys, forgive me for any pronunciation mistakes here, Lyudmila Pavlichenko? Pavlichenko? I think that's correct. Or Lady Death, as she was nicknamed. Now, Lyudmila was one of my personal favorite World War II heroines. She was a Soviet sniper, operating mostly during the siege of Odessa and Sevastopol, and during her time, she is credited with over 300 kills, making her one of the deadliest snipers in all of history. That alone is an imposing figure and is justification enough for putting her in Enlisted, but guys, I also wanted to mention the thing that I love about her, and it's actually what happened after her actions in combat. Now, Lyudmila went on a publicity tour to America where she was just genuinely hilarious in her responses to a lot of reporters who would ask her some questions that, I don't know, in my opinion, you really shouldn't be asking one of the deadliest women in history. Things about, did she wear makeup on the front lines, and questions about her underwear, which she responded very bluntly with. And she went as far as to outright challenge one of the reporters there to a fist fight, which is incredible to me. I think that's amazing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if I killed 300 fascists and was one of the deadliest snipers in history, and then I went to a country that wasn't even in the war at that point, and they were asking me all of these questions about my underwear, I'd be pretty pissed off too. And it seems pretty fair for her to have been. It goes without saying that Lady Death and Lyudmila would fit perfectly in Enlisted as a sniper class soldier. And on to our second heroine from the Eastern Front. Again, forgive me guys. Mariya Oktyabrskaya? I'm sure I butchered that. I'm sorry, guys. All my Eastern European viewers, I'm so sorry. Now, Mariya is a pretty famous Soviet tank driver. A lot of people know about her. During World War II, her husband was killed in battle, and as a result, she decided to sell everything she owned and to essentially buy and donate a tank to the war effort, under the condition that she were allowed to drive it. She was allowed to do so and was trained to become both the mechanic and the driver of a T-34, which was instantly nicknamed the Fighting Girlfriend. Mariya was promoted to sergeant and was posthumously made a hero of the Soviet Union, or I suppose a heroine of the Soviet Union, after she died in 1944. I'd love to see Mariya added to the game as a tanker, of course, and also it'd be cool to add the Fighting Girlfriend as a T-34 skin to go along with her in a battle pass, because that would be a nice kind of thematic battle pass added to the game. So I do really hope that that happens in the future for Enlisted. Finally, we've got our last on this list, Daniel Inouye. Now, Daniel Inouye is one of the most... It's not even... his story is actually so absurd in a list of absurd stories that it is, well, it's absurd. So, Inouye was a soldier in the Nisei, which if you guys don't know what that is, it was an all-Japanese-American regiment during World War II. Inouye quickly became the youngest officer in the regiment, fighting throughout Italy and France, and was awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions while assaulting the Gothic line in Italy. And, again, this whole story is one of the most insane stories on this list, which is saying a lot. Inouye was first shot in the stomach by a machine gun, though just decided to ignore it and continue his assault. He made his way forward and eventually was close to a German bunker. He pulled out a grenade and went to throw it when the German soldier popped up and shot him with a grenade launcher. You know the Kar 98 grenade launchers that we have in Enlisted? He got shot at the elbow with that. The shot fully amputated his arm, which still clutched the grenade, and Inouye was left staring at a live grenade clenched in a fist that no longer belonged to him, as he said. That is absolutely insane in and of itself. This man then pried the live grenade out of his own hand, tossed it into the bunker, and killed the German. Now you guys might be thinking to yourselves, wow, that is absurd. That is absolutely crazy. Guys, this man then got up, continued fighting forward, killing at least one more German, before being shot and wounded again and falling unconscious. This guy fought and killed someone with one arm. Like, I don't get that. That's insane. I don't know what to say about that. That's crazy. Inouye not only lived, but he went on to become a U.S. Senator for Hawaii and did it for nearly 40 years. And he's currently honored by being named, or the Honolulu airport is currently honoring him by being named after him. Guys, it goes without saying, again, that there is absolutely no world where Inouye shouldn't be added to Enlisted as an assaulter. I mean, honestly, adding him to the game and having him just a normal assaulter would be inaccurate. He should be added to the game with like double, triple, or quadruple the health of a normal soldier. That is the list of my soldiers that I think should definitely be added to Enlisted, or at least probably added in some capacity in the case of Doss, to Enlisted in the battle passes, because I think they would be fantastic additions that would be cool to have and cool to honor their legacy and their commitments to the war during that time. There are tons more that we could totally talk about, guys. Definitely leave a comment down below. I'm sure you guys are frothing at the mouths to tell me all the different ones that you think should be added. So leave a comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe while you're there. Also, let me know some different Axis soldiers that you think might be good for a future video talking about Axis soldiers that should be added to Enlisted in battle passes as well. Without anything else though, guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.